Solve a quadratic equation by completing the square. The roots of an equation are the values of x at which y equals 0. If the equation is represented as a graph, these are the points at which it crosses the x-axis. After factorising, the second method of finding these roots is completing the square. The basic form of a quadratic equation can be written as ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. In order to solve this by completing the square, we need to make a equal 1. It does not matter if this makes the other values fractions. With new b and c values, we now want to get this into the form x plus d squared plus e equals 0. d is half of b. e is negative d squared plus c. We can substitute these values into the new equation. We now want to get to the squared section on its own, so we balance and subtract e from both sides. x plus d squared equals minus e. We can now square root this to leave us with x plus d equals plus or minus square root of minus e. We want just the value of x, so we again balance, subtracting d from both sides. X equals minus d plus or minus square root of minus e. From this we can now find our two roots, depending on which option of plus or minus we use. We use the plus or minus sign because, as we have seen earlier, the square root of a value can be either positive or negative. The square root of 25 can be either positive 5 or negative 5. This means there are two possible outcomes for this equation, meaning two possible roots. One root using plus is x equals minus d plus square root of minus e. The other root using minus is x equals minus d minus square root of minus e. Example: x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. This is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We want it in the form x plus d squared plus e equals 0. d is half of b, so d equals 1.5. e is minus d squared plus c. d is 1.5 and c is minus 4, so this is minus 1.5 squared minus 4, minus 6.25. Substituting our d and e values in, we get x plus 1.5 squared minus 6.25 equals 0. We subtract minus 6.25 from both sides to leave just the squared brackets on the left-hand side. X plus 1.5 squared equals 6.25. Square root both sides. X plus 1.5 equals plus or minus square root of 6.25, which is 2.5. We just want the value of x, so we subtract 1.5 from both sides. X equals minus 1.5 plus or minus 2.5. Choosing plus, one root is therefore x equals minus 1.5 plus 2.5, which equals 1. And the other root, choosing minus, is x equals minus 1.5 minus 2.5, which equals minus 4. The roots of this equation are at x equals 1 and x equals minus 4. Not all equations will give you two roots like this. Some will only have one root, like y equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. Some will have no roots, like y equals x squared plus 4x plus 8. We can see this when drawing out the graphs of these equations.